Today we are going to start our lesson about leakages and injection of an economy with diagrams. We studied these things in our circular flow of national income. What are the leakages of an economy? These are the withdrawals like saving, like taxes and imports. If an economy is having more of withdrawals or leakages, so it will reduce the national income in the circular flow, because whatever the income is earned by the factors of production, that is not totally spent by them. So as a result, these leakages, they will reduce the national income. And what are the injections? We studied that investment is in one of the injection, government spending is another injection, and exports are the other injection. So there can be the three injections like investment, government spending and exports. When injections they are added to the circular flow of national income, they will increase the aggregate demand and national income will also be increasing. Now these are going to be studied in details. So we know that an economy will be in equilibrium when all leakages and injections are balanced. We studied this thing in our circular flow of national income. The followings are the leakages and injections of an economy. As I told you, saving, taxes and imports, they are the they are the leakages or withdrawals of any circular flow of national income. So they are going to cause a decrease in national income in the economy, because by this the income earned by the factor of production is not equal to the spending. Okay, so now when these things, investment and government spending and exports, are added to the circular flow, so they will be causing increase in national income. So they are called the injections. So all injections, they must be equal to the withdrawals or leakages in an economy. Then we will have this national income into the equilibrium. All right, so all injections and withdrawals, they should balance to each other. We studied there can be the two types of economies. One is called closed economy another is called what? That is called an open economy. So these economies which are closed economy, they are without international trade. And when we talk about the open economy, they are having the international trade with the rest of the world. Like this economy is also exporting and importing the goods and services. So there can be the three types of gap in any economy. The first gap that is present, that is saving investment gap. If savings are more than investment, the national income that will be increasing, because it is reducing the aggregate demand in the economy. Sorry. So second gap, that is the fiscal gap, taxes and government spending gap. When government spendings are more than taxes, so this will be causing budget deficit. Okay, when taxes are more than government spending, then there will be budget surplus. So they must be balanced to each other. Saving must be equal to investment, taxes should be equal to the government spending, or their additions like saving, taxes, they should be equal to investment and government spending. So these two gaps are the domestic economy gaps. These two gaps are, what are these? These two are the domestic economies gap. Domestic gaps, in other words. Domestic gaps. All right. So the last one, that gap is international gap, that is imports and exports gap. This is external gap, you can say. This is an external gap. You might be listening to the news that Pakistan is facing current account deficit. So this is the external gap which we are facing. For the domestic gaps, government needs to borrow from domestic sources like from central bank borrowing or domestic bank borrowing, the commercial banks borrowing. These gaps can be fulfilled. Or for the development projects, government can go to borrow from Asian Development Bank, World Bank for the mega projects. So they are actually covering the domestic gaps. All right. Whenever we find the external gap, then we need to borrow money from IMF, Paris Club. So IMF will lend us money in order to bridge the gap between our international payments and receipts. all right, and Paris Club is same is the case. Whereas the development loans, they are provided to the fiscal deficit, like the government is going to have more of the dams or anything which is going to create employment opportunity, they are called the development expenditures. So in that way government needs to borrow money from the development lenders like Asian Development Bank and World Bank. If all these gaps are balanced, so macroeconomy will be in equilibrium. So this is our diagram of what we studied about the national income Keynesian cross. So this is our aggregate supply line, or in other words we say where income is equal to aggregate supply and aggregate expenditure. This is our familiar 45-degree line. Whereas the consumption line, that is this one, where we find where consumption is equal to income, then we find no saving at all. Saving is zero. And when consumption is more than income, savings are negative. And when income is more than consumption, then saving is positive. So if we draw the saving line in the lower diagram, what is the saving line? This is the saving line. This is the first withdrawal line of an economy. So we find this thing that savings start from the negative side. All right. Here we find this is the negative area. This is the below zero area. This is the positive area. So at lower level of national income, savings are negative. Aggregate expenditures in the form of consumption, they are more than income. And when economy is in equilibrium, then saving is zero. And when economy is having more income than consumption, then saving is positive. So saving line is actually the mirror image of the consumption line. You can see here C line is above the 45-degree line and saving line is below the zero line. Okay, when C is equal to income, so then we have zero savings at that point. And when income is more than consumption, we have saving is positive. So this is just a mirror image. So this is the first withdrawal. We can say this is the first withdrawal. So where these savings are going? They are deposited with the banks, and from the banks the firms are going to borrow money in order to buy the capital goods, which are called the investment by the firms. So investment is actually the injection to the circular flow. We see saving is the part of income which is not consumed. It is withdrawal of an economy. Investment, that is an injection to an economy. Whatever is being saved as the households, it will be invested by the producers in long run. We will have saving and investment, they must be equal in the long run. Then our saving and investment means our injections are equal to the withdrawals and economy will be in equilibrium. If investment is more than saving, what is happening? National income will increase because injections will cause the aggregate demand to increase. And when our investment is less than saving, that will cause a decrease in national income, because a decrease in injection will cause aggregate demand to decrease. So here we find another thing. So I'm going to make the savings as a red line rather than the blue line. But this is the saving line. Whereas the injections, they are having the blue lines. All right. Okay. Now you can see over here we have both saving and investments, they are equal at this equilibrium. At this equilibrium point, they are equal. Before this point of equilibrium, you will find investment is more than saving. At Y1 there was zero saving, economy was in equilibrium. When investment was injected, this is autonomous investment, it is independent of the income. Okay, so now when investment is added, so at the first phase investment is more than saving. So what is happening? Aggregate demand is increasing, inventories or the stocks of the firms, they are going to be reduced, they are going to be negative. That's why investment is increasing in the economy. So what is happening after this? After this, national income start to increase. and till the point when savings are equal to the investment. At this point, what is happening, economy will be in equilibrium, because whatever the injection was added, that was equal to the saving, that is a withdrawal. So economy will be in equilibrium, but this equilibrium is higher than the previous level of equilibrium, which was y1. Okay, so due to injections, economy has moved to a new equilibrium. So in case of multiplier, we will be studying how much of investment will be multiplied to increase the national income. That will be our multiplier model for A2. By tomorrow, we will be starting the multiplier model. So now, what is happening after this equilibrium? Saving line will be going above the investment. So saving is going to be higher than investment. So leakages or withdrawals are going to be more than the injection. So national income start following. Now again income will come back to this equilibrium. If we go above the equilibrium, so economy will come back to the equilibrium, because above equilibrium what is happening, savings are more than investment. So the slope of saving line is called marginal propensity to save. What is MPS? That is called change in saving due to change in income. If you remember, I said $1 is equal to MPC, that is the slope of consumption line, marginal propensity to consume, plus MPS. So if MPC is 0.8, so MPS will be 0.2 for each dollar. When MPC is 0.9, like 90% of extra income is consumed, so MPS will be 0.1. Okay, so saving slope or gradient is called MPS. So when its slope is decreasing, so what is happening, saving curve will become flatter, and when its slope is increasing, it will become steeper. Now this is what I have written. Below Y2, investment is more than saving, therefore national income will increase. At Y2, saving is equal to investment, national income is in equilibrium. Above Y2, saving is more than investment, national income will decrease. If people are increasing savings, national income will fall. If saving is decreasing, national income will increase. Now come towards another injection, that is the taxes. No, sorry, another leakage. Another leakage of the circular flow is taxes, or another leakage or withdrawal of the national income. Now income of the household is divided into two parts, saving plus taxes of an economy. The government spending is an injection to this circular flow. What it is? The government spending, that is the G, that is denoted by G, is going to be the injection to this circular flow of national income. So what is happening in this diagram? We studied, this is the investment line, this is the government spending line. Okay, so but the saving line is going to be a red line, as I gave you the instructions about this. So this is the area. So saving plus taxes, this is now the withdrawal line, whereas investment plus government spending, that is the injection line. All right, so what is happening when saving was 0? So what was the case? National income was at Y1. When investment was increases, national income increased to Y2. Now another injection of government spending, that has increased. And on this withdrawal line, we are having the two things right now, that is the saving plus taxes. Now another withdrawal has added. So when taxes are increasing, so what is happening? This withdrawal line will shift leftward and national income will decrease. Like if I say when government is increasing the taxes, this will be the new withdrawal line where taxes are further increased. So what is happening? National income will decrease. Okay, so when taxes are decreasing, this line will shift rightward and national income will increase. So we are going to have, I'm not going to mixing all these things over here, but in order to explain you all the things gradually, I am taking the things like this. So what is happening? This saving plus taxes, if you see from Y2 to Y3 how national income has increased, you will see at the start government spending or injection is more than taxes, that is the withdrawal. So national income is going to increase. And at E3, government spending is equal to the taxes at this point. This is a balanced budget. Previously, this was having a budget deficit. Okay, at balanced budget, national income will be again in equilibrium. And after this E3, what is going to happen? Government spending is less than taxes. So there is a budget surplus which is causing the national income to decrease towards Y3. Alright. So keep it in mind when both injections like investment and government spendings, their addition is equal to saving plus taxes which are equal to the withdrawals, then economy will be in equilibrium. At Y2, government spending is more than taxes, budget deficit is there, national income is increasing. And at Y3, there is a balanced budget, national income is in equilibrium. After Y3, government spending is less than taxes, so budget surplus is there, national income is in disequilibrium, so national income will fall. In an open economy, what is happening in an open economy? Imports are the withdrawals. What are these? Imports are the withdrawals. These are the imports which are the leakages or the withdrawals of this open economy. And exports, what are the exports? They are the injections to this economy. Alright, so AS student will find this diagram in their chapter. So in order to explain this diagram, I explained you all the injections and withdrawals previously. What are the components of aggregate expenditures, aggregate demand? Then we are able to understand these diagrams. Okay, now I am going to make it red. The withdrawal line is now including the three things in it: saving plus taxes and imports. Whereas the injection lines, what is going to happen? This is the final injection which we could found it over here. So when the last injection of the open economy is added, so national income, you will see when there was no injection, no withdrawal, national income was at Y1. When investment was added, national income increased to Y2. And when government spending was increased, so national income was increasing to Y3, and now it is going towards Y4. Before, this is equilibrium E4, this is open economy equilibrium, this is E1, this is E2, this is E3. So after E3, you will find one thing: exports are more than imports. So when exports are more than imports, injections are more than withdrawals, so national income will be continuously increasing. And at E4, this equilibrium, at this equilibrium point of open economy, what is going to happen? Exports are equal to the imports, injections are equal to the withdrawals. And after this, you will see the withdrawal line is higher than the injection line. Now the exports are less than imports, so it will cause national income to decrease to the to that level of circular flow of national income equilibrium. So now you will find this thing that our injections and withdrawal lines, where they are equal to each other, that is the national income equilibrium. So below Y4, exports are sorry, exports are more than imports, so national income is increasing, and there is a trade surplus. At Y4, exports are equal to imports, so national income is in equilibrium, trade balance is there. After Y4, exports are less than imports, so national income falls, so trade deficit will arise. So here is the question. You can explain how an economy reaches to an equilibrium when all its injections are equal to the withdrawals. So here I have written again the few things. Injections are addition to the circular flow of national income, increasing aggregate demand. And what are the injections? Government spending on goods and services, investment, spending by businesses on capital goods such as new buildings or equipments, export sales of domestic goods and services to foreign markets, leakages. Now the leakages reduce the circular flow of national income, decreasing aggregate demand. Taxes are the first leakages they have written. Government revenue collected from households and businesses, savings, household income set aside rather than spent, imports, purchases of foreign goods and services. So analysis, injection and leakages affect the equilibrium of the circular flow. When injections exceed leakages, aggregate demand increasing, boosting economic activity. When leakages exceed injections, aggregate demand decreases, potentially leading to economic contraction. Here are some questions as well, MCQ questions, short answer questions, and essay questions which are mentioned over here. You can take a picture of that and you can answer them easily. So that's all for today, and tomorrow we will be having multiplier model for A2, and I will see what is the next topic about the AS students. Thank you.